Gather the Spirit, harvest the power. Our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this hour. Our trials in this light appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit of heart and mind. Seeds for the sowing are laid in store. Nurtured in love and conscience refined, with body and spirit united once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the Spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun. Winter to spring and summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding as one. Sing with me now. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again.
Thank you, Ben, a favorite. I'm John Hoffman, and good morning and welcome to the UU Fellowship of Beaufort virtual worship service for November 15th, 2020. We are glad you are here with us this morning, whether you're joining us on your laptop, iPad, tablet, or smartphone. Whatever it is that brought you to this community, whatever paths you have traveled, whomever you love, whatever your ethnicity or immigration status, know that you will find safe harbor here. At UUFB, we celebrate the free and responsible search for truth and meaning, guided by love with open minds and hearts. We work together to create the beloved community of justice, compassion, and peace. I invite you to join me as you are willing in affirming the fellowship's mission statement here on the screen. Our mission is to create a joyful sanctuary for spiritual and intellectual growth, embracing all souls in a nurturing community from which we go forth as activists for social justice and as stewards of the natural world. Now I invite you to take a few deep breaths, settle in, and enjoy our prelude.
Our prelude this morning is called There But By Fortune Go You or Go I, and it is by Phil Oakes.
Our opening words are from Reverend Sharon Wiley. We speak so often of brokenness in religious life. Let us speak today of wholeness. You are welcome here, all of you, every part of you beautiful just the way you are. Here, you do not need to be something more or something less. No holding back, no hiding, no exerting yourself, no trying to do more or be more. You have inherent worth and dignity. Nothing to prove here. Nothing to prove to me or the person sitting next to you or to the children or to anyone. You don't have to try and be witty or more quiet or more outgoing. You are beautiful. Every part of you beautiful just the way you are. You do not need to change anything about yourself to be welcome here. Your skin, your hair, your belly, your limbs, your face, all beautiful just the way you are. You are extraordinary, each and every one of you different from each and beautiful in your own beautiful way. Breathtaking. I will light the chalice. We kindle the flame this morning to the words of the November chalice lighting of the International Council of Unitarians and Universalists, written by lay leader Daniel Faria and translated from the Portuguese. We light this chalice as a symbol of faith, hope, and love. To face the shadows, a chalice of light. To face inequity, a chalice of justice. To face falsehood, a chalice of truth. To face evil, a chalice of goodness. To face disharmony, a chalice of beauty. May your brightness, manifestation of the infinite light, bless our hearts, our spirits, and our lives. We're going to sit at the welcome table.
Now for a meditation by Victoria Safford, minister of the White Bear Unitarian Universalist Church in Matamedi, Minnesota. Any other questions? People ask me sometimes, is this a gay church? It is a privilege to answer. Ours is absolutely gladly, hopefully, and humbly, gaily a gay church, a gay tradition where everyone, including heterosexual members and friends, is welcome, where everyone is needed, where everyone's experience is cherished as a sacred text, because no one's experience of living or loving can be comprehensive, because each of us holds clues the others need about how to live with dignity and joy as a human person, and none of us knows enough about that yet to be considered whole. It is absolutely a gay church, even as ours is a gay world, if you would look around. Gay church, straight church, people's church, a human congregation made holy by the holy hopes and fears and dreams of all who wish to come. Come in, we say. Come out. Come in. We're all in this together. I will not speak of tolerance with its courteous clenched teeth and bitter resignation. I will not speak about acceptance of other people and some other kind of lifestyle. I can only look in laughing wonder at human life in all its incarnations. I can taste only in passing the breath of the spirit of life on my mouth and understand our common longing to breathe in deep, deep gulps of it. I cannot think of being anybody else's ally even, because even that implies some degree of separation, some degree of safety for some of us, not all. We are allied with no one and with nothing but love. The larger love transcending all our understanding, within which all the different, differing, gorgeously various, variant, beautifully deviant aspects of ourselves are bound in elegant unity. I know that on some sad and disappointing days, these words describe the church that yet shall be, and not the church that is. I know. But I know too that to answer is an act of creation. To answer this question and some others is a privilege, a prophetic imperative, a joy, a duty, and a holy sacrament.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come, come, come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come, come. Come yet again, come.
Thank you, Diane and Ben.
I would like to share with you a prayer called Praise to You, the Web That Connects Us All. It's by Reverend Amy Zucker Morgenstern. The Hindu god Indra is said to have created reality as a great net with jewels at each intersection of the threads. Every jewel is reflected in every other, and they are all connected by the infinite, intricate web. The jewels are sacred, and so is the net that connects them. And so I pray, Dear God, Spirit, you are the in-between spaces of our lives. When one hand reaches to touch another, you are there. Where eyes meet across the crowd and confusion and find understanding, you are there. When the spark leaps from one mind to ignite another, that is you. Wherever we connect, you are the connection. Each of us is a jewel in Ender's net, shining like dew in a spider's web. Praise to you, the web that connects us one to another. When we are in the in-between, on our way from the intolerable to the unknown, when we defy the categories that small minds invent and dare to imagine anything beyond, when we seek others who are on a journey, on a threshold, on the margins, in any of the shimmering intersections of our lives. When we listen to the possibilities whispered within and step into the mystery with trust, with fear, and with trembling. May we find peace, for we dwell in your sacred place.
Now, our sun response is, how could everyone ever tell you? I will put the words up on the screen.
Our reading today is On a Holy Night in 1969, written by Reverend Otto O'Connor of First Parish UU in Malden, Massachusetts, an openly transgender man from Canada who lives in Malden with his wife and young child. He writes, on a holy night in 1969, in an inn, also known as a bar, called the Stonewall Inn, a basement which had no running water nor safe fire exits, queer people of many colors and kinds danced together, for it was the only place where they were allowed to dance, at least permitted to, by the mafia who ran the inn. In those days, it was common for the police to frequent this inn, not to join in the dance, the underground celebration, but to send the dancers home and make arrests. When they would arrive, the lights would go on, the people would be lined up, and then all those in drag, all those who were trans, all those without proper identification, they were arrested and taken into custody. But on this holy night, that early morning on June 28th, the people said, "Not tonight." As they called to them to line up, the trans women refused to go. And as the police began to beat and arrest them, and as the people spilled out from the bar onto the street, Christopher Street, a crowd grew to watch. And then, as trans women, lesbians, and gay men were getting arrested, a yell came from the crowd, "Gay power!" And as a trans woman was shoved, she shoved back, and the crowd began throwing bottles at the wagon. And suddenly it erupted. For once, the people didn't line up. For once, the people said, "No more, we've had enough." It was almost as if that night, being pulled out of the darkness of the underground at Stonewall Inn, one too many times, they said, "I'm ready to be seen." On this holy night, when the power of the oppressed rippled through the streets of New York, when queer people said, "No more," our world would never be the same. 50 years ago, it was illegal to be gay, to be trans, to dance and to love and to celebrate. And now, only 50 years later, here we are celebrating at a church, gay and straight together, queer and straight together, trans and cis together, all in this together. And so, as we hear these stories of life and love and defiance and celebration, let us all also remember and pay tribute to our movement ancestors, many of them trans women of color who led the first rebellion that night. You see, Pride is a celebration of that anniversary, the anniversary of that riot at the Stonewall Inn in New York City, a holy night.
I share with you a poem. It's called Still Queer in America. It's by Becky Brooks. We are erased, and still we loved. We are shamed, and still we loved. We were expelled, and still we loved. We were laughed at, and still we loved. We were hunted, and still we loved. We were sacrificed, and still we loved. We were marketed, and still we loved. We were legislated, and still we loved. We were murdered, and still we loved. We were murdered, and still we loved.
Our reflection today is also written by Reverend Otto O'Connor for a Pride celebration on June 10th of this year. Happy Pride. It feels strange to say that this moment is anything but happy because of an assault in this country on Black and brown bodies that has never really ended. The movement for Black lives and what's become known as Pride aren't the same movement, but they certainly aren't separate movements. There have always been Black queer people, no matter how much the white LGBTQ+ movement has pushed them to the fringes and tried to claim it for themselves. I claimed Otto as my name as an adult, a symbol of my identity as a transgender person. I claimed this name to help me think about who I was and how I was going to be in the world. But Otto wouldn't be my name unless a Black trans woman named Marsha P. Johnson and a Latina named Sylvia Rivera responded to a police-induced violence at the Stonewall Inn in 1969, two women of color who claimed those names for themselves. It wouldn't be my name if it weren't for Rita Hester, a Black trans woman who was murdered in 1998, and the vigil of her death that led to the annual reading of the names of the dead, our beloved transgender siblings killed by anti-transgender violence. the overwhelming majority of whom are transgender women of color, who often aren't called by their right names in their obituaries or funerals. These aren't just names on a list. They're whole lives with hopes and dreams, just as our own. We have to say their names. I wouldn't be able to live as I do without these ancestors who lived their queer lives unapologetically. My liberation is tied up in the liberation of Black and brown lives. These are my siblings being killed. Now is not the time to stay silent. And so I claim responsibility as a white person to speak up, to decenter myself, to accept the ways in which I've gone along with the insidious anti-Blackness in this country. I invite you to name for yourself what your commitments will be, because we need to name them again and again. These might be different depending on where you are in this struggle for Black and brown folks. This might simply be surviving right now. Name them and don't let them go. The Transgender Day of Remembrance serves several purposes. It raises public awareness of hate crimes against transgender people, an action that current media doesn't perform. Day of Remembrance publicly mourns and honors the lives of our brothers and sisters who might otherwise be forgotten. Through the vigil, we express love and respect for our people in the face of national indifference and hatred. Day of Remembrance reminds non-transgender people that we are their sons, daughters, parents, friends, and lovers. Day of Remembrance gives our allies a chance to step forward with us and stand in vigil, memorializing those of us who've died by anti-transgender violence. Transgender Day of Remembrance 2020 honors those who died between October 1st, 2019 and September 30th, 2020. For that period, 47 lives were taken in the United States that we know of, and 386 worldwide. This includes death by violence, by self-harm, those who died in ways yet to be determined, and sadly this year from COVID-19. We will now say their names. Mia Green, 29, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Aaron Burnett, 37, Independence, Missouri.
Gia Valentino Romaldo Rodriguez, 46, Miami, Florida.
Isabella Mia Lofton, 21, Brooklyn, New York.
Ellie Shea, 23, the Bronx, New York.
Shelley Lynn Rose, 16.
Key Sam, 24, Lafayette, Louisiana.
Aja Raquel Roan Spears, Rocky Roan, 32, Portland, Oregon.
Kiasha Hardy, 24, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Tiffany Harris, 32, the Bronx, New York.
Marilyn Monroe Cazares, 22, Brawley, California.
Angela Martinez Gomez, 42, Santa Monica, California.
Summer Taylor, 24, Seattle, Washington.
Bree Black, 27, Pompano Beach, Florida.
Shaky Peters, 32, Amite City, Louisiana.
Rhea McCarty, 28, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Merci Mack, 22, Oak Cliff, Dallas, Texas.
Tatiana Hall, 22, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Brayla Stone, 17, Sherwood, Arkansas.
Brian Powers, Akron, Ohio.
Brayla Stone, 17, Sherwood, Arkansas. I'm sorry. Dominique Remy Fells, 27, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Rhea Milton, 25, Liberty Township, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Name unknown, age 16 to 20, Chicago, Illinois.
Selena Reyes Hernandez, 37, Marquette Park, Chicago, Illinois.
Tony McDade, 38, Tallahassee, Florida.
Jane Thompson, 33, Orchard Mesa, Colorado.
Kelly J. O'Regan, 20, San Antonio, Texas.
Nina Pop, 28, Sikeston, Missouri.
Johanna Metzger, Baltimore, Maryland.
Henrietta Robinson, 79, Miami, Florida.
Ashley Moore, 26, Newark, New Jersey.
Lorena Borjas, 59, Queens, New York.
Lexi Ebony Sutton, 33, Harlem, New York.
Monica Diamond, 34, Charlotte, North Carolina.
John Scott DeVore, Scotland Kelly DeVore, 51, Augusta, Georgia.
Camila Maria Concepcion, 28, Los Angeles, California.
Alex McCrae, 22, St. Louis, Missouri.
Dustin Parker, 25, McAllister, Oklahoma.
Mia Penny, 26, Washington, D.C.
Yahira Nesby, 33, Brooklyn, New York.
Alice Carter, Baby Alice, 35, Washington, D.C.
Angel Rose Garcia, 21, Hyattsville, Maryland.
Nikki Kuhnhausen, 17, Larch Mountain, Oregon.
Brianna Beebe Hill, 30, Kansas City, Missouri.
Daphne Dorman, 44, San Francisco, California.
Christine Zephyr, 23, Mankato, Minnesota.
Corbin Ray Bach, 23, Paducah, Kentucky.
Thus ends the reading of the names. I will share my screen and we will sing together, "We Are a Gentle, Angry People."
This beautiful song, "We Are a Gentle, Angry People," was written by legendary folk singer and one of the first to be to recognize herself as openly gay, Holly Near. At one point, the verse that says, "We are gay and straight together," Holly Near wanted also to be, "We are all in this together." Shall we sing?
Our closing words are by Jess Reynolds, a prayer for my queer and trans siblings. Here you are, here in this holy space, standing on this ground that is holy because you are here. Here you are in flesh and bone, filling up this body that belongs to you alone. Your pumping heart is a wonder because it keeps you alive. Your loving heart is a blessing because it keeps all of us alive. The spirit of love has a home in you. May we all see that love in you and let our hearts become mirrors for the compassion at your core. The spirit of justice has a home in you. May we light our wicks from one another until we are all aflame, until we burn out every prejudice we carry in these bones. Here you are, holy as you are. Blessed be. Now I will share my screen again with the words of our chalice extinguishing. Chalice flame is extinguished until once again ignited by the strength of our gathering in community with a mission for justice and our hearts full of love. The service has ended.